Yo, top of the morning to you, wealth champions. What it do, what it do. Today's daily hustle is all about your attitude towards defeat and how the wrong attitude towards defeat can have you waiting a long time for that next win. So let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Daily Hustle with yours truly, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from wealthcreationplaybook.com. And you guys know, man, we are pretty close to the end of this thing, man. The magic of thinking big is the resource, and it will probably take us through the rest of this week, I believe. So if you want to get a copy of this, then of course you can go to your local bookstores. I'll put a link in the comments below. If you want to support the show, if you get it through my link, I'll earn a few dollars in commission. So I appreciate that very much. But we were reading the chapter on thinking right towards people, and it's very profound in that your attitude towards what happens when things don't go your way actually determines how long it takes for things to turn around and then actually go your way. And I don't think a lot of people realize that, because you can get into a funk based on something not going your way, and you can create a downward spiral that will literally have you suffering loss after loss after loss after loss. And the worst thing that can happen is you never learn the lesson in those losses because of your attitude. I'm going to read a quote from the book as well, but this one really stuck out. It says, the real test for thinking right towards people comes when things don't go exactly the way you want. How do you think when you're passed up for a promotion, or when you fail to win an office in a club you belong to, or when you're criticized for the job you've done? Remember this: how you think when you lose determines how long it will be until you win. And it goes on to quote a Mr. Benjamin Fairless, who basically was a blue collar worker that rose all the way to chief executive of the U.S. Steel Corporation, which was one of the biggest steel companies in the world at the time that he actually headed it up. And I thought this was pretty good and worth reading, this whole quote. It says, it depends on how you look at things. For example, I never had a teacher I hated. Naturally, I was disciplined just like every other pupil, but I always figured it was my fault that the discipline was necessary. I have also liked every boss I ever had. I always tried to please him and do more than expected if I possibly could, never less than expected. I have had some disappointments, times when I greatly wanted a promotion and somebody else got it, but I never figured that I was the victim of office politics or prejudice or bad judgment on the boss's part. Instead of sulking or quitting in a huff, I reasoned things out. Obviously, the other fellow deserved the promotion more than I did. What could I do to make myself deserving of the next opportunity? At the same time, I never got angry with myself for losing and never wasted any time berating myself. Guys, this is heavy stuff. Couple things that we can take from this, right? Took full responsibility for his actions, right? Never had a teacher he didn't like. If he got disciplined, he realized it was his fault he got disciplined, right? Always did more than was expected of him And that's how he was able to rise from a blue collar, ordinary worker all the way to the top of the corporation, right? Never blamed anyone else for losing. That's huge, man. And I know it's hard for us to do sometimes because we think that every loss, uh, there's got to be a reason for it other than something that we have done ourselves, right? So we start looking at those around us, those involved in the loss, instead of saying, you know what? There's something that I could have done better to lead myself to victory. I didn't do it. Let me figure that out. Let me extract that lesson. Let me learn that lesson so my next opportunity I'll win. Instead, we point the fingers at this person could have done that better. That person is hating, they're prejudiced, they don't like me. That's why I didn't get the promotion. That's why things didn't go my favor or what have you, right? And last but not least, never berating oneself for losing. Because when you get into that place, instead of extracting the lesson to make you better, you start berating yourself and you become bitter. And it's hard to win, man, when you're bitter. I'm telling you, it's hard to win when you are bitter. So it says, remember Benjamin Fairless, when things go wrong, just do two things. Ask yourself, what can I do to make myself more deserving of the next opportunity, right? So now you're starting to extract the lesson out of that defeat, out of that loss. It's no different than in sports, man. You go through a loss and you start asking yourself, was there something that I did wrong? Could I have done something better? What was my weakness? What was the thing that caused this to go awry for me, right? Number two, don't waste time and energy being discouraged. Don't berate yourself. Plan to win next time. So, guys, your attitude towards your defeat. You guys hear me say this all the time because I talk probably more about failure on the daily hustle than I do success because failure is actually part of the success equation, right? You try something. Most of the times you try something you've never tried before, you're going to fail miserably at first. In fact, anything worth getting good at is worth being bad at first. So you're going to fail. You make an adjustment. You reevaluate the failures and then you try again. And you repeat that formula until successful. The problem that most people have is they've never learned how to properly see failure as part of that success equation. Therefore, they try to avoid failure at all costs. And when they do fail, they put a lot of distance between the time that they failed and the time that they try again. That's not how successful people do it. Successful people fail faster, they fail more often, and they fail forward every time that they fail, meaning each failure brings them closer to their goal. So remember, if you, my friend, don't have the right attitude towards your defeats, the right attitude towards your failures, that is what's going to determine how long it takes for you to win. Do me a huge favor, my friend. If you got any value out of today's episode, then I want you to make sure you hit the like button on the page if you're checking this out on Facebook. Then hit the like button on the video. If you're checking this out on YouTube, make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you subscribe to the channel and get notifications every time we go live with the Daily Hustle, but also the rest of the content that we put out to help encourage, motivate, and also help you build a business, build your wealth, build a legacy. You don't want to miss any of that stuff. So hit the subscribe button and then like the video. Or if you didn't like the video, I'm okay with a thumbs down as well. Just this helps me become better. And then if you really, really, really got any value out of this thing, man, make sure that you go ahead and hit that share button. Share this with someone who may have just suffered a great defeat in their life, and they might be thinking the wrong way about it. They might be experiencing the wrong attitude towards that defeat. So copy the link on YouTube, send it to someone's email, text it to someone. If you're on Facebook, hit the share button or send it to someone directly in their messenger. This could potentially help them move on in their lives. Also, if you're trying to have victory in your finances, then I want you to go over to wealthcreationplaybook.com, download your free checklist on the 6 money killers that's keeping you broke no matter how hard you work, and the one solution that will help you overcome it. See, we all have it in us. We got the discipline, we got the desire, we work hard enough. Some of us just don't know the proper steps to take. So this checklist will help you with the 6 money killers and the one step that you need to take to overcome all 6 of them at the same time. Again, that's www.wealthcreationplaybook.com. And I think that's it for today's episode, man. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in. I have fun with these daily hustles. It helps me get my day started off right. And you guys know, as I say all the time, I'm talking to myself. I'm just talking out loud and you guys get to hear. So until I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up.